Medical Intuitive Insights with your host, Dr. Gloria Warren, is a program that presents topics on medical intuition, holistic opportunities outside of mainstream society, and scientific research as applied today. Topics range from online intuitive readings to interviews unveiling alternative healing modalities and discussing them with inspirational leaders. Dr. Warren is the bridge within holistic arts while stressing the balance between the spiritual and physical self. So now, please welcome the host of Medical Intuitive Insights, Dr. Gloria Warren.
Do you have low or no energy? Are you bloated without any answers? Nobody even telling you why? Or are you gaining weight or perhaps even feeling hungry all the time? Live now, you're watching Medical Intuitive Insights. I am your host, Dr. Gloria C. Warren. Welcome to our show where science meets soul. Well, you're here today with Elizabeth. Elizabeth is our patient today. And we had an expert, Dr. Maria Lezniak. She was going to be on, but she was called away for a patient. And that's fine because I had a long discussion with her this morning, and she gave me all of her notes regarding Elizabeth's situation. And we will be giving you that information. So we have, today we're going to explore the possibilities regarding our topic of high cortisol levels that are known. First, let's first welcome our patient, Elizabeth. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you?
Okay.
Okay, we're here today to assist you. Pardon me? What was that?
A little nervous.
Oh, nothing to be nervous about. This is just an open discussion. Okay. We just want to give our viewers some information if they have this problem and some of the similar problems that I had seen in the photographs you sent. So this way they'll have a better understanding of what's going on inside of them and perhaps a few solutions that they can discuss with their medical professional. So that's just our purpose here. And it's so nice to have you, though. You look great.
Thank you. Nice to
Better
be here.
than the
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what my daughter said. But okay, thank you.
So you are our star patient today. Thank you for being part of our show, by the way, up front here. Are you ready for a mini medical intuitive reading today on our show?
Yes.
Okay, so for a HIPAA release, what we do is just a simple verbal release. So I'll ask you this question. Elizabeth, do you grant your permission for us to discuss your medical situation? Nothing extremely private, by the way, but your medical situation here on this show, which will also be aired in reruns on the internet.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, fantastic. It just simplifies everything. We don't have to go back and forth with, that's basically the only question you need to know. So let me explain to the audience what we're doing here. Usually a medical intuitive reading takes 1 to 2 hours easily. Some people take up to 4 hours depending what their needs are. You know, sometimes I have to look at their nutrition and everything else and things in their home, and it can be very tedious. But here we only get like 10, 15 minutes. So it's very basic. But what I did today was I looked over some photographs that Elizabeth sent me, and those photographs were basically front of the body, back, hands, feet, face, but I see her face here. But anyways, I look at these and I use medical intuition. I use my intuition, and I also use remote viewing, which is very commonly used in the US government. They use remote viewing as well. So what I do is I try to look inside the body using remote viewing, and then I'm guided with my intuition. So I also have a medical background. I am a certified epidemiologist. I've worked in laboratories. Was in pharmaceutical research for 8.5 years. I have extensive medical, that's just some of it. I can go on and on. So I try to apply that information that I've learned to Elizabeth's situation here today. And this is what I do with all the patients. But my thing is if it's something I don't know, I will look at other experts that would know more about the situation than I would, or I would refer her to her medical professional, whoever that is, whoever she decides. Remember, and Elizabeth, I'm going to tell you this right now. You are in charge of your medical information, and what you do is up to you. Who you see as your medical professional is up to you. It's called self-sustainability. You can't expect them to know everything. Everybody is human. Google doesn't know everything. AI doesn't know everything. I found errors everywhere and that did not meet up with the actual research clinical studies. So, you need to take what you hear to heart, but figure out what you want to do, what's best for you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. So we went through a lot of the stuff already. Great. So why don't we start your reading? Okay. We're not going to take a break yet. We're going to keep going here. So this is what I came up with. I looked at it for a very short time, but it is what it is. And you will get a copy of this when I'm finished. I will text this to you so you have a copy. I cannot do everything while I'm here today, but I try to get the bones of it, things that maybe you don't know about, or maybe perhaps you know something about, but you don't know what to do about them. So let's start here. Let me look at the photographs while I do this, just to make sure I'm not missing something. Here we go. See, she sent me really nice photographs. Fantastic. I love it. Okay, so there's a lot of edema in your lower extremities. I see arthritis in some of your joints, some rubbing in
Yep.
your knees, some basic things, rubbing in your knees. I think when we get our age, you kind of get some of these problems, so you need to pick and choose what you're going to target first. So that's what I'm here for. I'm going to try and help guide her to know what the root causes are and what Elizabeth can actually do. So I see the bloating. I see the some breaking down of some blood vessels, a lot of abdominal bloating, everything that I see here. Good muscle development in your shoulders and arms, and you can tell you lived a very active life, most likely a very stressful life, and that's what I'm seeing. So
Yep.
what I am going to do is go over some of the things I found other than just the swelling and edema and things like that. So the bloating is also bloating in your abdomen. It's in your digestive system. Your entire digestive system's swollen. You have water retention. You have your internal organs have some swelling. I did not check for a pathogen, so I don't know if it's inflammation, but I'm looking. They're swollen. Your sinus cavities, in the frontal portion of your sinus cavities, right behind your eyes, right above your eyes, I see swelling in the sinus cavities. I see some thoracic swelling in your vertebrae. I see some scoliosis. I marked that all on this sheet for you. It shows you which way it leans. So we can work on that later. I can talk to you later for free. I can talk to you if you have questions. A lot of these things are just pointing to one thing, and that's cortisone levels, increased cortisone levels. So that's where I really want to focus on today. And there can be a lot of misdiagnosis with that. There can be a lot of questioning, is the diagnosis correct? Cushing's disease and chronic fatigue, and there's so many different things that can lead to this. A matter of fact, I have a chart I'm going to send you, so you have that. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Yeah, I do have it here. I will send you a chart. So
Thank you.
The causes of a high cortisone level can be anything from chronic stress, poor sleep, alcohol abuse, overtraining physically. I feel that really, in long term, your life, that has been a problem. The over physical stress, I think, has led to a lot of this early in life and has then grown out of proportion later in life. Thyroid disorders can cause it. Cushing's syndrome, it's a body situation, just so the public knows, it's a situation where if you have a tumor or something, you can actually have over cortisone secretion. Low blood sugar, that's my problem. Low blood sugar, it increases my cortisone levels. It's like a fight or flight when my blood sugar gets too low. Anxiety, depression, nutrient deficiency, very common as we get older. So your body may not be digesting things properly and you're not absorbing the nutrients. This can be a problem. Does this all relate to what I'm saying? Does this relate to you?
Yes, I would say high amounts of stress between my job and my ex-husband, which there the key word is ex, but that was a really stressful 10 plus years.
Right.
You know,
And
yeah,
and how
let me
long
just
have
leave
you
it
been
at that.
divorced?
Not long enough.
Okay, so you're still getting stress from that.
So, well, no, not really. It's
Okay.
been about 10 years, but when there's damage, you don't always get over it.
Right.
It takes a while.
Of course, of course. And I do know some people that could help you with that. We do have Coach Mike. He's a social worker and he's wonderful. He has a beautiful, wonderful show. He was fantastic on my show actually a couple weeks ago. I mean, you can watch that and get an idea of who he is. And if you're comfortable with him, you can always call him even. I was amazed with his vast knowledge. It was great. But, I'm sure, sometimes having emotional support is just as important as physical support and physical knowledge, because the stress can end up in your body. This is the problem that a lot of people have with stress. I have that problem. My immunity and everything else kind of goes bonkers because I'm a high stress person with everything that is on my plate. But it's just the way I am. I became what I call a professional juggler. It's just what we do. We just juggle one problem after another and get through it. So, okay, that's
Sounds
done.
like a mom.
Pardon me?
It sounds like a mother.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I raised 6 kids
That's what mom does.
and
Okay.
learned to juggle then, shall we
Yeah.
say.
I've been told from the doctor for probably 20 some years since my gestational diabetes pregnancy that I've been knocking at the door of being a diabetic because of the low blood sugar. So,
Oh, and you have the low blood sugar too. So
yes.
that also will create a high level cortisol. And here's what happens when your cortisol goes up, just so the viewers know, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate. You get digestive issues, but you may not realize it. And then all of a sudden you start putting on midsection weight and you're like, why am I gaining so much weight? I'm barely eating, but you're always hungry. But you try to go different diets and different things. And it creates a cycle. Like some people will do high protein or whatever, and that may take a little of the weight off, but the bloating comes and goes with certain types of food. By the way, I wanted to show you this. This is what I take, Digestamil. And this is a company that I actually promote. And if anyone's interested in this, it helps to break down your food so you get more nutrition in your bloodstream. But if anyone's interested in this, I'll put the information in the comments. Good thing about this stuff is having better nutrition actually hinders your cortisol from skyrocketing, which is wonderful. And as we get old, everybody has a little bit of a problem with lack of nutrition in their bloodstream. Their body just doesn't absorb as well and break food down as well as it used to. So it's just what happens. So I had a discussion with Dr. Maria Lezniak. She works at the North Shore Healing Center. Let's see what we have here. I took notes for you. So
Thank you.
yeah, yeah. She is a licensed acupuncturist in Oriental medicine. So she has been working for decades. I worked with her years ago, like back in 2002 to 2005, somewhere in there. And I learned so much from this woman. She is the best Chinese medicine practitioner and acupuncturist I have ever met in my life. And
Wow.
I have met many dozens of different acupuncturists. She is just personal opinion here. She is the only one that I will let do any acupuncture or acupressure on me. So, and that's just a personal choice. You know, everyone chooses who their medical practitioners or health practitioners are. And in this case, I choose her. So, you may have somebody else. I don't know. But she started to discuss things that become chronic inflammation is a direct result of high cortisol, and pancreatitis, diabetes, weight gain, hypoglycemia. I mean, she went on. And she went through all the different things that causes all of that, which I think I already mentioned. I went through a list with you. But then she started to talk about it is an imbalance of your meridians in your body. And
I'm sorry, imbalance of what?
the meridians in your body. So I can tell you how I learned it when I learned shiatsu. There's meridian lines that go through your body, and they interconnect different systems throughout your body. Here, I have a picture of it. I did my research for you today. So maybe I can show it just like this. And there's certain lines throughout the body that run. There's the front, there's the back, and these lines are correlated to your organs, to your muscles, to your nerves, which can trigger secretion of cortisol or over secretion of cortisol, especially with stress and fatigue and things of that nature. So what we did was we talked about different things in Chinese medicine. She said acupuncture is definitely something that can free up the congestion in these meridians. I think of it like an electrical system that runs through your body, and there's different wires that control different areas. So, but it can clear those electrical currents. How's that? Does that make sense?
Okay, yes.
So the inflammation, adrenals, she said she thinks your adrenals are impaired, the sympathetic nervous system, and your nutritional breakdown of food and uptake. You need help with your pancreas and your spleen. Your endocrine system is also part of the same type of running system. Your thyroid also has a lot to do with it. The whole thing that she would do is try to restore balance in your system so that stress won't bother you as much. And these meridians can be cleared to handle a higher load so your cortisol levels don't skyrocket. So that's what she had explained. She's amazing, by the way. If anyone wants to get a hold of her. Sorry, what did I do with that? There we go. Sorry. She works on a North Shore Healing Center in Chicago, and it's 312-887-1940. And she, like I said, she was phenomenal. I've had her on another show before, and wonderful. She's a very busy woman, but she does have time for patients. And that is her whole journey in life, is just taking care of people and trying to help them as much as she can. And you know what I really love about her? You know, when you deal with these healthcare practitioners, I'm sure you've probably run into this. A lot of healthcare practitioners want to think they know everything about their field. Her and I both believe there's no way we can know everything about our field. And I know where my limits are, but I have a doctorate in research, so I can research, but most of the time, let's say I'm talking to you and you're standing here in front of me and I see something, I think you need to see a specialist about that. That's where Maria comes in. I'm not afraid to say, I don't know something. I have my box that I practice in, and I can expand a little from my box, but I also need other experts. So that one of the messages that was very clear. I talked to Nurse Peggy from a couple weeks ago, and she's amazing. She has her show too with us, and I'm sure you've seen nurses who think they know everything, right? When they're human. We're all human. So she's not afraid to say, yeah, that there you will have to ask so and so, or maybe they need to see this person or that person or that type of practitioner. And it's wonderful. You just need to just ask, and ask a professional if you don't know what's going on. I had somebody call me, I'm not going to mention names. I had somebody call me this morning. Oh, I did this and that, and I did gave her this and I gave her that. I'm like, why are you doing this? Do you know what kind of medication she's on? No. Do you know what? I mean, I was like, okay, and what are her symptoms? I said, take her to the emergency room. Sometimes people don't realize that you need to ask a professional. You can't just do this all by yourself. No one person is a one-stop shop. We can all try to do our best, learn as much as we can through our lifetime, but that doesn't mean we know everything. And we need to be able to say, hey, that's beyond my scope. Let's get you in there to see somebody else. Or, if it's something medically wrong, like swelling of the tongue or something, go to the emergency room. You can figure everything out after, So, but that's not you, obviously. That's not your problem. Your problem is very common, especially with women at our age. We get these things because of hormones, and we want to make sure to keep things in check. And cortisol seems to be a root cause of a lot of problems. So it's just something to consider. Okay. So we're going to get ready. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was told probably, 30, 40 years ago that I was hypoglycemic.
Yeah. And it has an effect.
Going on for a while.
Yeah. Right. So we're going to take a commercial break. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria C. Warren. You're watching Medical Intuitive Insights, and we're with Elizabeth. We're going to continue discussing things we can do to lower our cholesterol levels. So hang on there. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Mike Zorek, a three-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a six-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2/3, and 2/4. He also won the Veterans Folk-Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zorek, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zorek has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back to Medical Intuitive Insights. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria C. Warren. We are here with our patient today, Elizabeth. And Elizabeth has a telltale situation that many of us have gone through as we get older and it gets worse, and that is perhaps too high of a cortisol level. So cortisol levels, just as a recap, can be caused from stress, different types of stress, lack of sleep, lack of nutrition, and it seems like Elizabeth's problem has been long-term. Hypoglycemia will also cause extreme cortisol levels. So what is the effect of high cortisol levels? Are a lot of bloating in your abdomen. It's like one of the first problems, like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so bloated. Why? And maybe it never happened before, and maybe it's the start of something. That bloating can cause circulation problems in your legs because it adds more weight on the femoral artery and in the top of the legs. And, it seems to be a cyclone effect, So, hi, Elizabeth. How do you think your reading went?
Pretty accurate so far. Yep.
Good. Now, this is a mini reading, so Elizabeth knows. We did not go into everything, but I noted this on photographs she sent me this morning, and that's why I thought we would put it in the title, because there's many people with this problem, and this way we can help many people. If you know somebody that needs this information, please pass this video along. So I'm delighted, absolutely delighted to have you here today. So we talked about what can cause high cortisol levels. Even some things I didn't mention is medications can. Strenuous exercise, if you're a weightlifter or power lifter or a gymnast or something like that, no matter what age, your cortisol levels can go out of whack. Depression.
That's not me.
Yeah. Depression, though, is definitely something as well. So, Elizabeth, I know that psychologically, you were saying that you have a lot of stress from, your divorce and all of this, and you're still having some stress. So, but I know you have the stress in other areas. So, my advice to you is to see a social worker. It's amazing what some of these people can do. They're phenomenal, some of them. It's like anybody else, though, in the medical practice or social practices. There can be good ones and bad ones, but if you find a good one, stick with them. You did say you had hypoglycemia long term, which makes perfect sense. And poor nutrition, I don't think you're absorbing the nutrients. I saw that in your skin. I saw it in your face when I was looking at the photographs. So I don't think I mentioned that, but you really need to. That's why we mentioned the Digestamil, which, and if anyone needs the information, I will put it in the comments below. So we also talked to Dr. Maria Lezniak, who is a Chinese medicine acupuncturist, certified practitioner, and has worked for many decades. She has an office in Chicago. So if you need her information, I will put that as well in the comments. Phenomenal woman, best I've ever seen in my life. And trust me, in my field, I've seen dozens. So she talked about restoring balance. So let's look at what can we do with high cortisol levels. How do we get that down? How do we drive it back down? Well, one is talk it out. That's where the social worker may come in handy. You want to see a psychiatrist, psychologist, or whoever you want to see. Social workers are attuned to dealing with daily lives and conversations regarding that. And it's interesting. I found that talking it uses your voice chakra. Singing in a car releases this voice chakra. It actually clears it out. By the way, the meridians that go through here, and stress can get caught here. You ever have that problem, Elizabeth, where you just bit your tongue and didn't want to say it, but you knew something needed to be said, but you still didn't say it?
You mean how many times?
Yeah, exactly. That's what
all
happens.
the time.
How many times can this happen? Singing in the car by yourself. It's phenomenal. I used to take a group to sing karaoke and take 3 or 4 women, and we'd all go up on stage. That way there's no stage fright. and I'd have them sing something fun, and it was just so releasing. They would be happy, they would be joyful, they would release all this clutter in here. And it's interesting, if you do that, get up there a couple times that night. You don't have to drink or not, it's up to you, but you get up there a couple times. It's interesting how your voice starts to reappear in your life on a daily basis. It just starts to flow. That's clearing that meridian and that voice chakra. So I'm sure we've all heard about that. So you need to really start to manage your stress, like maybe compartmentalize. Like if you're dealing with an ex or something, just compartmentalize. What time of day? I don't talk to him then at work. You got enough stress at work. Don't add to that stress. Maybe tell him I can call you around 8 o'clock tonight. Maybe when your stress level is lower, and then you can deal with it. Or, try to compartmentalize things like that. And it may not be that easy, but you can juggle things a little bit better. Write a network map. That's my thing, because lifetime project manager here, and network maps do wonders. You can see how everything's connected, and it actually helps to release the brain to put it down on paper. Sleep. Sleep is very, very, very important. You need about 7 to 9 hours sleep. Some people are good with 7, some with 8. Some people need more than others. But if you don't get the sleep you need, your brain won't function right, because everything won't be balanced in your brain. It'll be exhausted, and you'll be thinking more about that. So try to really, really consider that and straighten that out. Get it all done,
That's
and
true.
then, yeah, I have that problem. So you have to prioritize sleep. You can try getting more sleep too if it's maybe you're just having a problem getting to sleep. Maybe don't have caffeine after 2 in the afternoon, or energy drinks. Stop drinking those before noon or something. Your cortisol is naturally lowest at night. So poor sleep equals higher cortisol. Eat to support your cortisol levels. You want to have no simple carbs. Just eat complex carbs like oats, quinoa, sweet potatoes. Have magnesium-rich foods, leafy greens, avocados. Some nuts. I'm not a big fan of nuts myself, because I feel they scratch the inside of my intestines, or can, because we're so thin. But omega-3 fatty acids, I do feel you can add that in your diet with things like wild salmon. I have black seed oil in the morning, a little bit of black seed oil. Everybody has something different, and that's fine. Just make sure it's omega-3 fatty acids. Good, clean product always helps. High quality proteins. Don't have processed meats. Have, if you're going to have meat, have, organically or grass-fed beef or something like that. Nothing high processed, because it doesn't react in your body the same way as something more organic. Avoid high sugar, caffeine overload. Like I said, stop drinking things with caffeine in it after 2. Energy drinks, stop it at noon, because that stuff stays in your body so long, and it gets in your tissue. Don't skip meals.
Can I ask a question?
Certainly.
I don't do most of that. I don't do any of the energy drinks. I don't drink pop. No, I can't have caffeine. Even my coffee, which I add mushroom coffee to, I don't have that after 2 or 3 o'clock, because it just. I do a lot of the stuff you already say, but I'm thinking as you're talking, it's the absorption of it.
Yeah, absorption is
an issue
huge when it comes to cortisol levels. Anyone over the age of 50 should take something like this Digestamil, because our bodies don't break down the foods like it used to. Everything seems to slow down, and a lot of gastrointestinal problems can happen. We can have a whole show on that. Maybe we should, because there's a whole bomb that can be thrown on that one, and shed some light on a lot of things in that field. So, don't skip meals either, though. It does lead to low blood sugar and crashes, and then your cortisol will spike to pull your blood sugar up. It'll try to get your body to burn fat, and then it's too high, and then nothing's going to really suffice. It's just a bad cycle you can get into. Move your body gently. That's
Okay,
something.
I think we're having a we're having a connection problem, but I have a question. What do you mean? I'm sorry, you cut out there. You said about not skipping a meal because you burn
Right.
fat, because your body will try to burn fat. And what did you say after that?
The cortisol will spike to try and get your body. It's the fight or flight scenario. Your body will shoot its cortisol level. The cortisol is made in the adrenals. It'll shoot your cortisol level up so that your body will burn some fat because your blood sugar is too low. And it tries to do it. It doesn't mean it can do it efficiently, because as you get older, the adrenals get more of adrenal fatigue from this cortisol scenario. And that means the cortisone may spike, but it may not be able to burn off some of the fat, especially if you have insulin resistance. There's many things involved with that. But yeah, you just got to
Okay.
become a grazer.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So
go right ahead.
how do you then try to not eat for 12 hours where your body can do the cleansing of the bad cells and burn some fat or something without the rays of,
Okay, if you
without
have
that getting raised? Is
hypoglycemia,
that possible?
no, not that way, but you can detox in different ways. There's many ways to detox. So me being hypoglycemic, I can detox if I just go on a liquid diet. I'll put a little beet juice in my drink for the sugar to keep it, just stabilize it along the day. I'll use a high protein drink, and I water it down when I detox, and I take charcoal and things like that to detox, but I'm not cutting out food in general completely. That's going to spike your cortisol levels. So we are going to be taking another commercial break. So we do have messages from our sponsor, and I just, we have had a wonderful discussion. There's a few more things we'll talk for a bit when we come back. So don't go away. This is Medical Intuitive Insights. We will be right back.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Master of words, powerful player. What life-changing words can Dr. Janet Smith Warfield pull out of her magical toolbox that just might mysteriously open a door you never knew was there? A door to free yourself from fear forever. Transform your rage into right action. Release your guilt. Position you into a life of freedom, purpose, passion, power, and peace. All quite suddenly, unexpectedly, and almost miraculously, with no effort on your part. Join Dr. Janet on Dancing with Words, Dancing with Wisdom, as she and her guests show you how words map our experiences, immersing you in a sound bath that relaxes your muscles, opens your mind, and supports you in co-creating your extraordinary life.
Welcome back to Medical Intuitive Insights. We're here with Elizabeth, our patient today, and we gave her a reading. We've been talking about different ways to stop our cholesterol, I keep saying that, cortisol, stop our cortisol from spiking. And we know her problem is from stress. That's the root cause of her problem. And then, of course, there's a lot of bloating and other problems that she's having and weight gain from the stress affecting her cortisol levels. So she was just talking to me during the break, and she was wondering about, it's really not a good idea to skip meals if you have hypoglycemia. But at night, she just drinks a little bit of olive oil. I'm a little concerned because our problem at our age is also most likely involving low nutritional uptake into our bloodstream. So you get some nutrition from that olive oil, but is it completely sustaining the nutritional value within our blood? And I think that everyone should consider having a small meal, even if it's just a few bites of protein with that olive oil, or some type of complex carbohydrate, maybe half a cup of oatmeal with the olive oil, because that way there you have something else in your bloodstream throughout the night. She's talking missing 12 hours, and that may be a little bit of a problem. So, but either way, we were talking about how to make our cortisol so it doesn't spike. Stress causes it to spike, stress of all different kinds. So we were talking about different ways, getting enough sleep and departmentalizing your times of stress and just deal with one thing at a time. Anyways, there's other ways too. Getting natural light and nature time, going for a walk in nature, or run, or whatever you like to do, but try to figure out how to do something outside. Me, I got chickens. I have chickens. I get my own natural eggs, holistic eggs. And it makes me go outside a couple times a day and move around and chase after them or whatever I need to do. So it really helps. So moderate exercising. You can go dancing. It's always fun to dance. And when you dance, your cholesterol levels actually start to drop. So stretching lowers cholesterol because you're working those meridians, like Dr. Lezniak said, work those meridians, free them up. That's why she thinks that acupuncture would be perfect for Elizabeth. I tend to agree with that. I think that's a wonderful thing for her because she's having symptoms and we're recognizing things throughout her whole body. So it needs to be negated and released. So, that's a good thing. Then there's things to also consider, like natural herbals. I think we lost her, but that's fine. Yeah. I'll just keep going. So natural herbals, ashwagandha is always something. It's an adaptogen. It reduces cortisol and anxiety. It's a natural one. You can just I do low dose because I only weigh like 135, 140 pounds. So I'll do low dose. You can get different levels of ashwagandha and doses. And then rhodiola rosea improves energy, lowers stress response. Cortisol spikes because the stress causes a trigger, a fight or flight scenario in your bloodstream, in your body. So that there actually would help to hinder that spike all of a sudden would be the rhodiola rosea. Magnesium, it calms herbs. It is absolutely wonderful. Different types of magnesium. I'm sure you've heard things on the internet. There are things out there where it goes through all the different types of magnesium, but magnesium calms the nerves, supports sleep, and reduces cortisol overall. So just make sure you're taking the right kind of magnesium. There's other things that'll help modulate cortisol secretion, and holy basil is always a good one. It balances adrenal hormones. Cortisol is made in the adrenal glands, which sit on top of your kidneys. So you want to, holy basil actually, it helps your kidney function, your adrenal function, and cortisol spikes. So keep that in mind. It helps maintain natural cortisol levels.
Okay.
Practice
And
gratitude.
what kind of basil is that?
Holy basil. Basil. And then you have, you can practice emotional self-regulation. When things bother you, don't just hold it in. laugh. Find something that's funny. Lord knows there's enough on the internet nowadays. Limit your exposure to news and things that give you more stress. Toxic environments is what they refer to. At least I know there's quite a few toxic environments out there in the world today. So just ignore it and don't give it your attention. That's the key. Excuse me. Practice gratitude. You can pray. You can meditate. Practice the gratitude in something simple like watching the flame in a candle and the beauty of it. Things like that can actually lower your cortisol. It's phenomenal. And then there's different daily activities you can do. In the morning, you could do your walk and breath work during the day, and to have a light snack in the afternoon. Don't just go from lunch to dinner, because if you go without food too long, it can lower your blood sugar a little too much, and it can make your cortisol level go up. Cortisol will cause bloating, and as we get older, some people notice, hey, I'm starting to get bigger in the midsection, or my legs are starting to swell. There may be other things involved, but cortisol does always seem to have its hand in that type of thing. Nighttime is when you want to take magnesium, help you sleep. And always have a routine, like lights out at a certain time. That's always great. So, Elizabeth, thank you so much for being here with us today. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here, and I do appreciate you. And I do want to let you know what I do sometimes at lunch. I will walk away from my desk. That's important. And I will go downstairs to the lobby of my building, and I just start walking in circles. And it's amazing how you can hit a reset button.
Okay, and that's probably very meditative. It's probably a form of meditation for you, walking in a circle. Kind of reminds me of the circles that you put outside, the patterns and everything. I do thank Dr. Maria Lezniak for her time this morning going over your information and giving all of her wonderful, wonderful advice. She is there for anybody who needs her. She is easy to get a hold of. She's in downtown Chicago. Her number is 312-887-1940 at the North Shore Healing Center. That's once again 312-887-1940. Now, if you need to get a hold of me, 715-892-7500. You can text me. Text is best. You can ask me about medical intuitive reading, or if you just want to be on this show for free, we don't upsell you on anything. Please shoot me a text and we'll put you on the show. As long as there's an opening, you got it. I do want to say that I'm very blessed that Elizabeth came on and Dr. Lezniak had that discussion with me. We have Life Connect retreats first week in December in the beautiful Mayan Riviera, and the topic is youth regeneration. It is things scientifically based off of research, as well as holistic approaches, products, doctors, whatever, from all scopes of the rainbow, all colors of the rainbow. And it's information, though. You will not get all this information in one place. So if you want to join me on that, 715-892-7500. Well, I think we're coming to the end of the show now. But Elizabeth, thank you once again. And God bless everybody.
Thank you.
There for the grace of God, Belai and Elizabeth, and you as well. So have a good day. Bye.
This has been Medical Intuitive Insights with host Dr. Gloria Warren. Tune in each week as Gloria shares over 40 years of experience and yearns to provide knowledge derived from intuition and research. Wednesdays, 2 p.m. Eastern.